Staff's Varsity 2024 behind the scenes tour. I'm here at the Cabman Television Studio, and I'm going to show you what we did for this.
I don't know how to record this part. It's alright, you're going to edit it.
Yeah. So in here is where we set up the tournament, basically. We had 34 players this year. From Staffs and Kiel, and then I think there was like one or two other people who just wanted to play that didn't, weren't participating in it, or played the tournament but weren't part of the team. So these are the tables that we all set up. We just booked these out from these, I don't really know. We asked the SU and they provided them. So thank you to them. If you're a student looking to run this event again, that's how we got them. You just have to ask the SU. Same for these high chairs here. We got these from the Ember Lounge, and we had to ask the SU for those. The main part of this event came down to this table, which I built myself with a lot of my friends as well, helping me. But for a poker event, you need to be able to see people's cards. So this table was built so that it had see-through windows, which if you put your cards on, you can see from underneath. And down underneath this table, I set up these two cameras, which then look through the windows and you can see everyone's cards. The other stuff under the table is there's two lights so that you can see the cards properly, and then there's this kind of janky, funky little stand that Matt from Stores helped me make, and it's just it's a pancake. If you're booking this out from the side, so it's a pancake, and then this isn't a cine arm, but that's what I had to book out, and it's basically just a static arm which you can attach to the camera on top of the pancake, and that gives you a really stable camera shot, which does move about a little bit, but it's pretty steady for the most part. The other stuff that we've got in here is we had 3 of these studio cameras here, which are like really, really good quality cameras. There's one in the back there, which Harry's just pointed out. There's one here, and then I had one in the corner over there, which we could just switch between in the vision mixing gallery, and that meant we could just get shots of the whole event. Over here is one of the TVs. We just got the live program out of the vision mixing feed and we put it on here, and that meant anyone who had busted the tournament could go and sit over on those like cinema style seats, which is pretty comfortable, and they could watch the event, and the people playing on table 1 wouldn't be able to see the live stream, so got rid of any cheating that could happen, and it meant anyone could just chill out and watch, which was nice. Then over here we have basically the desk, where I had one of my friends doing the admin. We had 1.3 million chips in play for this event, so it was a pretty difficult job. Here's the trophy, which the winner got. On this computer, we had a few different things. We had a spreadsheet, which I haven't got at the moment, but I will edit it in later. I can show you all the information that we had on there, but we had a lot of stuff to keep in mind. This guy was taking like photos of the players, which he would then send me straight away when he took them, and I could put them onto the live stream, so you could see who players are, got their names, like nicknames and stuff. What else did we get from them? I think if they wanted to cast stuff like that, just any information that would be useful for the live stream. And then we had another laptop here as well, which isn't here at the moment, but that had the levels. So in a poker event, there's like different stages in the tournament, and the players need to know that live. So we had this laptop here, which by HDMI went to that projector up there, and then on this big, massive screen here, everyone could see the levels then for the tournament, and it was just really like professional, good quality, like really easy for any of the players. I think that's everything in here to do with actual running the tournament. Now if we go to the production side, actually, 2 other things I forgot to mention are we had this microphone here, which was just over the table, and there's another camera up there, made sure this microphone is out of shot, and it just picked up all the table talk, so you could hear people playing, you could hear what they're talking about live, which is really nice in poker. Just not to only have the commentators, to have actually the players talking as well. The important thing is to make sure that that microphone is out of shot of the camera in the ceiling, which isn't too hard to do. So, yeah. Through here there are 2 other rooms, or 3 other rooms actually. There's the audio gallery. In here we have, I didn't have much crew for this event, so I had the casters, or the commentators, in here, and they were also mixing the audio for themselves. So this is the audio desk. The only 2 important things were basically the handheld one, which we used for the caster, so he could go anywhere in the entire studio, and this mic would pick him up as long as he's carrying it with him, obviously. This meant that he could cast in here as well as in the as in the studio as well, so he could do like interviews with players if he wanted to. And then the other important one was just Wallbox 1, and that picks up the audio from the table. In here, the TV screens, these 2 small monitors, they pick up the live program feed, and this one, if I turned it on, would pick up, let me see if I can turn it on. This bigger one would also, oh, that was the off button. Okay, well, the bigger one, when it is turned on, will also show the same as what we'll see in the vision gallery, which is all of the video feeds that we have coming in. So they can like see scenes that we haven't changed it yet if they need to like prepare a segment or something like that. One other thing actually is this is all the Comtech Clearcom, like they're basically headsets, so wireless headsets, and all of the production team could talk to each other, which is really useful. It's like having walkie-talkies you can wear on your head. Over here is another room, which is the rack room. This doesn't come with the rack room, and was a kind of nifty little workaround we found, where basically there were too many camera feeds to put into the vision mixing desk. So we got another basically vision mixing desk, and we cut up the camera feeds here before we put them into the other desk, which meant that we had enough inputs. And this was used for the 2 cameras under the table. This is what the rack room looks like. You have the 3 studio cameras here, you've got the vision mixing desk here. This is you can basically record your live stream. We live stream this on Twitch, so I didn't have to, I could just upload the VOD afterwards. But if I ever wanted to record it, I can do it here and I'd have a physical copy. This is where all the microphones are, so if I had, you can see there's 6 microphones, so there's enough for 6 microphones. We only used 1 for this event, sometimes 2 I think, but you only really need 1 for this. In here is the vision mixing gallery, which is probably the most important part of this event. Here you can remotely control the studio cameras. So if we look on this one, you can see I can change like the exposure. I think I can zoom in from here, I'm not sure. We didn't use these much because I basically used static shots for the majority of the event. But if I'd had more crew, I definitely would have had cameramen for this, and they could just get better shots. I haven't learned how to use this yet. It wasn't very important, but it has the potential to do that. So if you're looking for something to improve when you run this event again, definitely look into getting cameramen. Here's the course button. This lights up the sign outside so that you're on there. This was the vision mixing desk. We did some really cool stuff with this. Definitely thanks to Nathan for helping me with that, because I wouldn't have been able to do that. But on here, if we go on, I'll just go through everything we have in the preview here, which is the bottom left one. This is our first studio camera, our second one, our third one, which was looking out over the event, so you could just see everyone whenever we wanted. Camera 4 is our overhead shot, so you could see on top of the table. This was used majority of the time. You can see also when I get to the mix effects, this was used in the collage of different camera shots we had. And I had ME1, which was like the zoom in of camera 4. So in poker, seeing the cards dealt in the middle is quite important, and you can't really see them on the overhead, so I just had one which is slightly zoomed in. makes it nicer for the viewer. Then we had Mix Effect 2, which was basically the most important part of this live stream, used for 80% of it. In the bottom left, we've got the overhead shot, which is cropped and cut down a bit. Then we've got a studio camera in the top left, as well as graphics on the right. All of this stuff is pretty important when you're watching a poker live stream. So it was important that all of this displays at the same time. Also inside of ME2, which is why we had to use the board production unit, because you'll see just how many camera feeds we have, is all up here. I've only got 4 of them turned on at the moment, but we had 8 mix effects. These all contained the cut-up footage of the cameras underneath the table, because obviously the camera under the table is seeing lots of like dead space just under the table, and I only wanted to see the windows. So when this is calibrated, which you can do on this desk, it's just cropping, cutting, and rotating. Then you can see the cards, and it looks really nice. It looks really professional on the live stream. So I was really happy with that. ME3 and ME4 contain basically what those cut up camera feeds look like. Then over here was the graphics PC. This basically just has the right side of this monitor screen grabbed and put onto the right side of ME2. In here, I was changing out people's pictures, so I had different pictures for all the players. I had their name, I had their university, their university logo, and I also was changing the colour of their bar. So red was for Kiel and green was for Staffs in this tournament, just because that's how the logos were. And then another thing that I could have done if I'd had more, like a bigger team, is these boxes here, live update with a spreadsheet that I made, and this spreadsheet will calculate how many chips everyone had. So if I'd had another operator, I would have had them basically live inputting all of the information into a spreadsheet, and you could see everyone's chips, which is really nice. I think that's everything in here. In terms of what you have to book out on CISO, for this event we had to get 3 X70 cameras. We got 1 Filoni lighting kit. This was for 1 X70 was over the table, 2 of them were under the table, and we had 2 Filoni lights under the table as well. We had to get 1 C stand, which we attached a C416 or something, basically a microphone, over the table. The other stuff we got this attachment, which goes on the C7 stand. I forgot what this is called. The boom mic holder, so just a clamp basically. That held the microphone in place.